Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 entrepreneurs you're going to want to be following in order to further develop your financial mindset. With the age of the internet, people have access to pretty much the world's entrepreneurs at their fingertips. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 entrepreneurs you're going to want to follow in order to either start your financial journey or further develop your financial education. And as a side note, I wanted to make sure that we took a look at different people who were into different assets. So, for example, we won't be looking at people who are solely into real estate, and we won't be looking into people who are too hard to really follow. We're going to be taking a look at people who are both into real estate, into stocks, either more for advanced entrepreneurs or people who just want to get started with their financial journey. Now, with that in mind, please don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and comment below which entrepreneur do you currently follow or are looking forward to following in the future. Hitting a like really helps out the channel and really lets me know what content you guys want to see more of. So with that in mind, let's get started. Starting with our first entrepreneur, he's really great for people who want to really look into more of personal finance side of things, because he really talks about credit cards, debit cards, how to finance your home, what to do if perhaps you have extra cash, you're not sure where to invest it, and different things of that nature. Plus, he keeps it really simple for people to follow and pretty much execute on. So when he talks about investing in the stock market, he talks about ETFs that he recommends investing in that usually outperforms the market, as well as people who call in about perhaps they want to go ahead and purchase their first home. He gives a lot of advice on a variety of different things, but keeps it simple enough for people to better understand so that we can further execute in our lives. And this is going to be Dave Ramsey. So Dave Ramsey talks a lot about not using credit cards and really understanding money, and answers just a lot of questions that his viewers tend to submit, so like that he can share his financial advice with that person as well as sharing it with the rest of the world. I also like how he has a sort of common sense approach to things. So whereas even though I don't really agree with people should use credit cards and he believes people shouldn't use credit cards, the common sense there is, of course, if you have a credit card, you are more likely to spend money on that card if you're not used to better handling your financial decisions and sort of taking control of your financial life. He also tends to talk about how to get rid of any debt that you may have collected over your time on earth, as well as he has a pretty general audience, anywhere ranging from 18-year-olds to higher, 40, 50, 60-year-olds that come on the show and pretty much ask just either really in-depth questions or even beginner-friendly questions, pretty much providing a really great variety of different things to think about in your financial education. Second entrepreneur we're going to be taking a look at is GaryVee. Now, the reason I recommend GaryVee is because he really talks a lot about mindset and just sort of being happy. And I think this is something that's really missed with a lot of different entrepreneurs. They talk about how you have to just suffer and sacrifice. Whereas with GaryVee, his audience does tend to be a bit younger, but he talks about how you pretty much want to just be happy. I mean, that's really the overall goal, which truly aligns with what I agree with as well. A lot of us forget that even though we're going after this money or after this hustle or whatever it may be for you, at the end of the day, we also just strive to be happy. He doesn't necessarily talk too much about personal finance. He actually helps more in sort of executing and getting things done area. For example, a lot of people who ask him, they're not sure on which decision to execute on. He likes to tell them to just flip a coin, because at the end of the day, you won't be thinking about, oh, I wish I did this or I wish I did that, and just pretty much having that analysis paralysis. Pretty much you'll just flip the coin and that'll be your decision, and you'll just execute on that and at least have gotten something done, instead of being like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow or I'll decide next week or whatever, right? Like, flip the coin, you know what you're going to do, and you just execute on that and you just get it done. So GaryVee is really great to follow to really get that positive mindset instilled in you. So no matter what you're doing, whether you fail or you're successful or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're chasing that happiness, because at the end of the day, that's truly the goal. Just doing what makes you happy so you can look back on life one day and be like, man, I'm proud I did that. As well as acknowledging the fact that we're all humans, right? We all have different interests, different things that we want to do. So that's why you really just got to go out and just do it. Now, the third entrepreneur on our list is going to be Grant Cardone. The reason I really chose him was because of real estate. His knowledge in real estate is really great. Now, as a bit of a disclaimer, I'm not the biggest fan of Grant Cardone, just in the sense of it always feels like he's trying to sell you something, but I do follow his content and sort of try to get the general idea of what he's talking about, because he always tends to talk about cash flow and how you pretty much want to go ahead and buy real estate so you can just further grow your cash flow. Plus, I remember when I listened to his audiobook, it's called the 10X Rule. And pretty much the idea is that if you have a goal of, let's say you want to achieve $1 million, then just go ahead and put you want to achieve $10 million, because you'll only really achieve, let's say, from whatever you're at now to that $1 million. But your range is pretty much just between that. Whereas if you set your goal from now to $10 million, you're definitely going to surpass that $1 million. And even though you might come up short with the $10 million, you'll have really surpassed your $1 million mark, and you're even farther than what you ever expected to achieve. That way, you're able to show really great results, despite the fact that, originally you only wanted $1 million, but now you were able to get perhaps $5 million because you set your goals so high and you really just strive for it. Not just, oh yeah, I want to get $10 million. Not like you put in your mind, you know what? Instead of $1 million, I'm not going to settle for that. I'm going to settle for, let's say, 10 million. And of course, this is for whatever goal you might have in mind. So if you're a big fan of working out and you want to set a personal record of X amount, go ahead and just 10X it, right? Like go ahead and try and achieve something more than what you thought would even be possible. And that's one of the really big lessons I've taken away from Grant Cardone. Plus, not to mention, again, the real estate that he really talks about a lot, and how cash is trash because you want to go ahead and pretty much take your cash and invest in assets. I think that side of things from Grant Cardone are really great. And again, his real estate, really great to follow. Fourth entrepreneur on our list is going to be Ray Dalio. Now, I'm a really big fan of Ray Dalio just because he's a bit more challenging to sort of understand and follow. He really goes in depth with a lot of like financial markets and stuff. So for me, I kind of enjoy that challenge of, since I know only X amount and he knows X times Y amount, I can go ahead and sort of learn that extra stuff that I can be like, oh, what is that word I've never heard of? Go ahead and Google it and sort of just kind of continue learning from Ray Dalio. I definitely read his book Principles. Well, not all of it. I'm about a quarter of the way through ish, but it's a really great book so far. And I like the idea how he talks about like everything in life that you do is pretty much principles and habits. So you want to go ahead and instill that now so that you can further grow and sort of develop your portfolio, develop your mindset. He is a bit more difficult to sort of follow because he puts so much analytical thought and using his financial background, because he did a bachelor's and a master's, Harvard Business School. I think he did his master's as well in finance. So he does go a bit more in depth. And so this might not be so great if for beginners who are just getting into investing and sort of finance. And really, if you're just into personal finance, I wouldn't even recommend Ray Dalio. But if for those who really want more of that challenge or want to go a bit more in depth on sort of your financial literacy, Ray Dalio is definitely someone I would recommend. He has many great tools and pretty much portfolios to look at and sort of study so that you can better execute on the portfolios you want to make. And last but not least, our fifth entrepreneur is going to be Warren Buffett. Now, if you're not really into the financial world, Warren Buffett is a very popular person to be following right now. But reason being is because he keeps it so simple for people to really understand. Plus, he talks a lot about life advice too. So even if you're not into investing in stocks or into real estate, or you're just interested in personal finance, he really talks a lot about just kind of having common sense and better understanding of things in the world. He tends to really just encourage sort of that personal development and just reading. He's a really avid reader and recommending students to always continue reading. He has this quote about how if you read 500 pages a day, that's pretty much how you'll be able to further grow your education, because it's like compound interest. 500 pages each day, they continue adding up over time. Plus, his investment strategies for investing in the stock market are, again, so simple that anybody that wants to get into the stock market can follow his advice and execute on. And his main idea is to pretty much be a value investor. So where if you're going to go ahead and spend $1, you know for a fact that even though you're spending that $1, it's really worth $2 later on. That way, no matter what happens in the market, you know that you're getting a great bargain for the money you're spending. Now, I also want to do some honorable mentions. So taking a look at Jaspreet Singh from Minority Mindset, he's really great for pretty much walking you through real estate, and like he'll go ahead and pretty much show all his different properties and do a walkthrough of his properties, which I personally enjoy because I'm not really big on real estate, at least not yet. But I do like to kind of learn about it and sort of see how other people are doing it. So whenever I decide to do real estate, I have a better understanding of how to execute on these things. Plus, not to mention, his Minority Mindset YouTube channel is really great for pretty much producing different financial news and kind of keeps you up to date on what's happening in the markets. Another honorable mention is going to be Kevin O'Leary. He's really great at just keeping it pretty much blunt and to the point. So I really enjoy sort of his persona on YouTube, where he's just pretty much really direct with people, and I'm sure you've seen him on Shark Tank. He's really honest about business and pretty much how to hustle and keep working. Plus, he does tend to share a lot of his stories on YouTube and how he pretty much became a millionaire and how he pretty much working his entire life in order to achieve that financial freedom that we all want to achieve. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please let me know in the comment section below who's your favorite entrepreneur to follow and perhaps why you recommend them. That way, we can all take a look at other entrepreneurs that you recommend. Remember, today's a great day to have a great day. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching.